are many things in life that can cause stress, such as having a family with children, going to a job that you absolutely despise, or struggling to make enough money to support yourself or your family. With the many pressures that life dispenses, living with debt is a pressure that a large percentage of American families deal with. According to a recent Experian article, dated March 9, 2020, most of the debt comes from four major categories, which include mortgages, student loans, auto loans, and credit cards. The total of those four major categories equal $13 trillion. In other words, there is plenty of debt to go around. However, there is good news. You do not have to be stuck in the debt cycle. Thankfully, there are many tools that can assist in helping you with the debt crisis that you are facing. Becoming debt-free is about 20% knowledge and 80% discipline. There are many people who have the knowledge, but lack the discipline to move the needle. There are actions that can be taken to give yourself a psychological edge in the debt game. A small win can be a great psychological boost. If ridding yourself of debt sounds good, then stick around, so that you can gain the necessary knowledge to break the psychological barrier between you and your debt. Many people know Dave Ramsey as a leader in the personal finance space, and he has an outstanding reputation helping people reach their financial goals. His advice for getting and staying out of debt is known as the debt snowball. The concept of the debt reduction method is to pay off debt in order of smallest to largest, regardless of interest rate. Paying the smaller debts off first will give you a psychological win and keep you motivated. It is designed to assist you in changing your money habits by intentionally paying off one piece of debt at a time until you are debt-free. Imagine for a moment that you have minimum monthly debt payments that include a $300 personal loan, $350 credit card payment, $400 car payment, and a $450 student loan. Those amounts combined for the month total $1,500. Now, imagine not having any of those debt payments. What would you do with an extra $1,500 a month? Take a vacation, contribute more towards investments, go out to dinner more often, or pick up a coffee without feeling guilty. All those things would be possible with no debt. That alone should get you motivated to reduce your debt using the debt snowball reduction method. Using the amounts just mentioned, and keeping it simple, an example of how the debt snowball method works in a 3-step process is as follows. Step 1. Break down your debt balances from smallest to largest. For example, the debt balance for your personal loan is $3,000 and comprises of the least amount of all debts, so it is first on the payoff list. The next smallest amount comes from a credit card balance, which equal $5,000. Next in line is your car payment, and that balance is $12,000. Last, but definitely not least, is the student loan debt of $18,000. The total amount in the example is $38,000, which is on par with the average debt that Americans have without a mortgage, according to a 2018 Motley Fool article. Step 2. Make minimum payments for all debt balances, with the exception of the smallest amount, which in the case below would be your personal loan. Throw as much money as possible at the personal loan. Once the personal loan is paid off, you would take the minimum payment that you were paying, and add it to the existing payment of the next least balance, which would be the credit card. Step 3. Repeat the method until you plow through the remainder of your debt. Moving forward with the example, once the credit card is paid off, that existing amount goes toward the next lowest debt, which is the car payment. Continuing on, once the car payment is paid off, that existing amount goes toward the largest and last piece of debt, which is the student loan. Once the student loans are paid in full, then congratulations, your entire debt balances are eliminated. You have broken the discipline and psychological barrier, and will have the confidence to stay debt-free. Remember that life happens, and there are other strategies that need to be in place, so that you do not resort back to debt, such as having an emergency fund, or some kind of savings account that is easily accessible. Meet the Browns. The Browns are a family of 4, and are comprised of Mike, the father, Cynthia, the mother, Leah, the daughter, and Mikey, the son. The family desperately needs to set up a debt reduction plan, so that they can improve their living situation. The family is making ends meet, but their debt is eating into their quality of life, so they want to make changes. The father heard of the snowball debt reduction method from a coworker, and decided to discuss the method with his wife. After speaking, they both decided it would be a good idea to develop a plan, revolved around the snowball method. Mike and Cynthia wanted their young adult children to be involved, so they decided to include them in the conversation. The family gathered all their most recent debt statements, to get their combined debt obligations. The family listed their debts, in order from the lowest to highest balance. After calculating the amounts, they had minimum monthly debt payments, that included a $350 personal loan, with a debt balance of $5,000, a $450 credit card, with a debt balance of $9,000, a $475 student loan, with a total balance of $15,000, and a $550 car payment, with a total balance of $20,000. Those amounts combined totaled $1,825 in minimum monthly payments, and a grand total of $49,000 across all debt accounts. All family members began sweating due to the amount of debt that they had accumulated. However, they pushed on and continued to plan. Cynthia found a debt reduction calculator online from nerdwallet.com to assist in the dates of when each debt would be paid in full. Beginning with today's date, September 1, 2020, and starting with the personal loan, which is the lowest balance, the family realized that the debt balance could be paid in full by November 2021. They were surprised and pleased by how quickly they would be able to pay off their lowest debt balance. They began to gain confidence in their strategy, because they knew that they would be able to transfer the $350 that they were paying toward the personal loan to the credit card balance. The family would now be paying $800 a month toward defeating their credit card debt. Once again, they were surprised to see that they would be able to pay off the credit card balance in full by August 2022. They began to plow through the psychological barrier as they continued. Because the credit card balance was going to be paid off by August 2022, they knew that they would be able to transfer the $800 to the student loan payment. Their combined monthly payment toward the student loan debt would now be $1,275. That meant that the student loan balance would be paid off by June 2023. The family really understood just how powerful the debt snowball method was at reducing debt. Their excitement continued to build as they moved to the last of their debts, and the one that had the largest balance. Knowing that the student loan would be paid off by June 2023, they would be able to transfer the payment that was being made each month to the car payment. The family would now be paying $1,825 towards the auto loan. The calculations for the auto loan showed that the car would be paid in full by January 2024. As the family reviewed their plan concerning the snowball debt reduction method, they were absolutely astonished by how fast they would be able to pay off their $49,000 debt. In total, it was going to take them 3 years and 4 months, which greatly exceeded their expectations. If you enjoyed this video, click the subscribe button and select the notification bell, so that you receive the content that will build your financial muscle.